Let's start Flask in this video. So we are on the 4th chapter in our course. As usual, we'll fork this. What is a Flask? So Flask is a micro framework for Python, and it allows us to build web applications. It allows us to create a web server and host websites on that web server. So yes, we have this on CTOschool. I will fork this. Then I will copy it and in our internship projects, again go to CMD, git clone, paste, then open VS Code, new window, open folder, and Flask Basics, and select folder. Remove this. Okay, and then the first thing that we always do is check readme file. So we have a readme over here. You are supposed to go through it. I will not read this, but I'll just explain a few important things. Now, first of all, we need to have a virtual environment. So what happens is, let's say if I am in terminal now, and if I say where Python, we can see that the first route is this path is where my Python is coming from primarily. So if I do pip install something where we are installing packages from the server, it will be installed somewhere in this directory, and we don't want that because tomorrow Flask may have a different version, and my original code which I had written last year was working on the old version and not the new version. So we want to have separate environments, separate executable environments for different projects. So from here onwards, throughout this course, we will have a new environment for every time. So this is the command python-m venv. So this venv is the command, and then this is what we are passing the value. And after running this, you will see that we get a venv over here. And if I go to scripts, you can see that there is Python file, and in the libs we have a few libraries. And now it is completely created, and if I want to activate it, I'll type venv s tab/a tab activate, and I can see venv over here. And if I do where Python now, it is this from where Python will run. So that means that my all dependencies for this project that I'll be building, whatever libraries I'm using, are going to be inside this folder, which will be in this venv, which is inside my Flask Basics. And that's a good way to write in any production grade application. You will see this standard implementation. And if I do git status now, there is nothing to commit. If I do again, let me do git status. Okay, so we already have got git ignore here, and in git ignore we have written venv, so it is not being pushed in our git. That is good, because while venv is on our computer, we don't want to push it to GitHub, never. So that's why we are writing this. So now that git ignore file is written with dot, it's a hidden file, whether it's Linux, Mac or Windows. Dot file starting with dot is a hidden file, and it will be pushed to the server. So that is all right. Here you should see git ignore, and it's fine. But venv we never send, and because of writing this, if I don't write this, save it, and if I do git status, now it is kind of tracking that venv is also being tracked, and this file is modified because I made changes over here. But I'll do undo, and then again git ignore, git status, and now both of them are gone. So that's that. Now that is out of the way, we will see part 1. Now for all this part 6, we will have only one virtual environment, because that's one repo. So for one repo, we'll have one virtual environment. So this venv is activated. That means that it's the virtual environment is activated. And then let's do Python part 1. Inside part 1, I want to go to run.py. So I think it's backslash. No, sorry, app.py. Let's just check app.py. So app Python part 1, so slash part 1 slash, okay, not even that, so Python part 1 slash app.py. Okay, so it says that no module is installed. So first thing we have to do is install Flask. We have not mentioned it over here, but the error does say that Flask is not installed. So let's do pip install Flask. And if you see that it will be installed in this virtual environment, and inside libraries you can see that Flask is now installed. If we didn't have env activated, the Flask will get installed at the root location of your Python. And now again, let's do Python part 1 slash app.py, and we can see that something is running on this link, and I will follow this link, and let's open, and then you can see welcome to my first web server. And let's go to app.py, and here we see that this is being printed. And if I do server, if you do any changes and then save it, automatically this gets restarted. And if you refresh this, you can see that it is changed. So what is happening, you have to analyze it. This is the standard way to create any Flask app. From Flask, import Flask is typical standard code, and then this capital Flask is what you are using. And as usual, we have if name equal to main, and inside that we have app.run. So once with these two lines and with these two lines, our Flask application is set. And then we are saying that if somebody comes to this route, then show this. And for simplicity, for our own knowledge, we are giving a name to that function, which is home. It could be anything. I can have triple E and then again refresh it. It doesn't have any impact. Okay, then you have to do these exercises. So let's say you change your name, you can return HTML. So if I say, if I do B, and here if I do /B, save it, run it, then you can see that it's bold. So you can have HTML code inside it. Let's go to part 2. We have two routes over here. Control J, stop this, Python part 2 slash app.py, and it is again running. So let's run this, and here we see two URLs, home and about, and we have some more good looking HTML page. Now from where HTML page is coming, we can see that if I'm on the home route, I'm calling index.html inside templates. The name has to be exactly same templates, and then here we have two HTML files. So on and on. Just read the exercise. It's fairly easy to understand. Try completing exercise, and as you complete the exercises, you will understand more and more things about Flask. And at the 5th exercise, we have some extra data, and that data we are passing. So let me just show part 5. So here I'll say part 5 and run this. Now we have a really well built website. So I think about you have to fix it. And then this data is being passed through this information. One more thing, I think in the templates, I'll show this in the number 2, where we have, so let me call number 2 part 2 again and refresh this. So part 2 we have, okay, we are not sending any data. I think in the third one we are sending some data. So if you look at here, we have this name equal to student name, which we are passing to index.html, and then student name is mentioned over here, and this name, this is being passed to these templates, and it's an index.html. So if I go to index, here you can see name, and you can see some interesting placeholders like double curly brackets or curly bracket and percentage. This is a placeholder from Jinja template. What is a Jinja template? You can ask ChatGPT or check our readme, but it's basically text based blueprint that contains placeholder. So what is happening? Let me run part 3. And let's refresh this. Hello Alex. Instead of that, if I do Manas, hello Manas, and if I change this to NEE and refresh this, I'm getting blank. That is because in the index HTML we are saying that get this name, but I have NAMEE there. Now it is true. So it doesn't matter what you are writing here, it's just that this and that has to be same. And that's how we pass data from backend to frontend. But just know that frontend here is also inside Python file only, which is template, which is HTML, but it's inside with the HTML only. So even though this is frontend, this is not an API per se. We are in a semi hard coded way. We are sending data from backend to frontend. So yes, that's it. Study this, complete these exercises, push the code on GitHub, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.